Good morning. I'm Malik. If you looked at the closing numbers on Friday, January 30th, you might think you were safe. The KSE-100 Index bounced. Closing level, 184,174. Gain, plus 1,836 points, plus 1.01%. Retail traders went home for the weekend thinking, the crash is over. We survived. I am here to wake you up. That plus 1,800 point rally was not a recovery. It was the market taking a deep breath before a plunge. Because while we were sleeping this weekend, the world changed. Two massive events collided. The Saudi opening. Yesterday, Sunday, Feb 1st, the Saudi Stock Exchange opened to international retail. The liquidity vacuum is now officially live. The global liquidity event. On Friday night, the U.S. markets crashed, and more terrifyingly, gold and silver collapsed. This is no longer just about Pakistan. This is a global margin call. And today, Monday, February 2nd, our market opens into a perfect storm of capital flight. Let's start with the global dashboard, because that dictates the flow. On Friday, the U.S. tech sector was decimated, but the real signal was gold. In a geopolitical crisis, gold is supposed to go up. Instead, it crashed. Why? This is called a liquidity event. When big global hedge funds get margin calls, they sell what they can, not what they want. They sold their gold to raise dollars. The message? Cash is king. The world is scrambling for US dollars. Impact on Pakistan? If global funds are selling gold to raise cash, do you think they will hold on to risky Pakistani stocks? No. They will hit the bid on Systems Limited and TRG at 9:30 a.m. to repatriate dollars. Systems closed at 154.70 on Friday. TRG closed at 72.34. Expect these to gap down. The growth trade is dead today. Now, bring it back home. The Saudi factor. Friday's rally in banks was the trap. Meezan Bank, MEBL, closed at 488.67. MCB Bank closed at 410.50. Smart Money pushed prices up on Friday to create liquidity for their exit today. The mechanism? The funds that sold on Thursday have their cash settling today. The funds that waited for Friday's bounce are selling now. Why? To wire that capital to Riyadh for the Tadawul opening. This creates a double negative. Foreign outflow, Saudi pull. Global risk off, U.S. crash. My warning, do not buy the dip in banks today. If Meezan Bank breaks 485, there is no support until 470. You are catching a falling knife in a hurricane. It gets worse. Look at the data from China. Weekend PMI numbers show Chinese manufacturing is contracting. The Malacca blockade is strangling their energy supply. What does this mean for us? China is the #1 buyer of Pakistani yarn and cotton. If their factories are off, our export orders are zero. The sell list. I'm putting a hard avoid on the entire textile sector. Nishat Mills, NML, closed at 200.19 on Friday. Interloop, ILP, closed at 83.32. Gulahem, GATM, closed at 29.88. These stocks look cheap, but they are value traps. With energy costs at record highs and Chinese demand at record lows, their earnings will collapse. Do not touch them. Is there anywhere to hide? Yes, one sector, energy. While gold crashed, oil held its ground. Why? Because you can't run a tank or a power plant with gold bars. You need diesel. The physical shortage created by the Trump blockade is real. The survivors. OGDC closed at 324.64. Attic Refinery, ATRL, closed at 868.64. Pakistan Petroleum, PPL, closed at 278.47. The strategy. If the market panic sells today, OGDC is your hedge. If the rupee crashes because of the outflows, OGDC's dollar earnings go up. If the index drops 1,000 points but OGDC stays flat, that is called relative strength. Accumulate energy on deep dips. It is the only asset class that benefits from the chaos. Here is your battle plan for Monday, February 2nd. The 9:30 a.m. rule. We will likely gap down. The Friday bounce to 184,174 will be erased. Do not buy the open. Let the foreign selling waves hit first. The liquidity test. Watch volume. If we see heavy volume and World Call or K Electric on the downside, it means retail is capitulating. That is your signal to deploy cash, but only into energy. Final words. The old world ended on Sunday. Today, we trade in a world where cash is scarce and oil is expensive. Adjust your portfolio accordingly. I'm Malik. Helmets on. Good luck. Disclaimer. StockSense is an educational platform. I am an analyst, not a financial advisor. The strategies discussed here are based on data and market speculation. The stock market is a high-risk environment. Do not trade money you cannot afford to lose. Do your own research.